Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes, and you guys that watch my other channel, which follows my life with my classic cars, will know that recently I was a little bit ill. You can probably hear in my voice that whatever virus or whatever that I did have to deal with is still hanging around a little bit, but you know, I am pretty much 100% back to normal. But being ill gives us an opportunity to analyse where we're at, you know? In fact, any bad situation in your life gives you that opportunity to analyse yourself. And analyse yourself you must, because if you go through life never analysing yourself and just running on autopilot, you'll become just another one of those NPCs, you know, non-player characters in the world that basically just gets blown around like a leaf in the wind, and you never actually direct your life yourself. Now, I'll just explain sort of roughly what my symptoms were, because the way I see it, and this is very simplistic, I'm not a doctor, is that when you're ill, you've either got a bit of a cold, where, you know, you've got a snotty nose, maybe a cough, maybe a sore throat, you know, or you've got a stomach bug, you know, where you feel a bit sick and you've got a stomach ache. But then you've got more of fever symptoms, which people might call flu, or, you know, something that's similar to flu. And that's where you might have the cold and or stomach bug symptoms, but you also have fever, you know, so you feel a bit weak. Every now and again you might feel, you know, the feeling you get when you stand up too quick, that sort of thing. You know, you'll get hot and cold sweats, maybe achy muscles, you know. So those added symptoms is what I would call flu, or, you know, similar to flu. And when I was ill, you know, for about a week in total, I did have all those symptoms. You know, it was a cold, but it was also a bit of a stomach bug, and it was also, you know, fever. So I can only guess I had something like flu or similar, which is not that common this time of year. You know, we are supposed to be in summer here in England, but, you know, it is what it is. And what I've found in the past is, you know, if I've got a stomach bug or I've got a cold, it doesn't really prevent me doing what I need to do, you know. You know, the symptoms are annoying, but you're still able to go about your daily life and pretty much not even notice that you're ill, apart from, you know, when you sort of stop and think about it, or apart from when you blow your nose, or etc. But, you know, what I've found is when I've got the fever or the flu symptoms, it really does make life a struggle. You know, you're fatigued, you know, it's really hard to get through a day's work. I mean, I remember a time when I was doing my old day job where I literally used to drive around in a van. I used to work for the post office, and I used to empty post boxes as part of my duties. And I remember one time where I went to work when I definitely had flu, and literally I'd stop at a post box, and then I'd have to spend 5 minutes in my van with the heater on, just to give me enough strength to get out the van, quickly open the post box, put the mail into the bag, close the post box, then jump back in the van, and then I'd have to spend another like 3 minutes with the heaters on just to give me enough strength to drive to the next post box to do it all again. Well, what I noticed this time when I was ill is, even though I had all the flu symptoms, even though, you know, if I allowed myself to sit there and think about it, I was feeling weak. You know, I did have a stomach ache. I did have that feeling every now and again of lightheadedness, like when you stand up too quick. But it didn't affect my day. You know, I was regularly forgetting that I was ill. You know, the main thing that I had, first of all, the first symptom I had was a sore throat. I mean, it was so bad that when I swallowed, it was like razor blades. And even though I had all these other symptoms as well, I was able to like forget them until, you know, every now and again you go to swallow, and then it was like, you know, I sort of remember I was ill. Now, maybe whatever virus I had this time wasn't as bad. You know, I'm sure these things are on a spectrum. You know, some colds and flus are worse than others, but I do put a lot of it down to the fact that nowadays I am living a healthier life. You know, every single day I'm doing things that are going to be boosting my immune system. I mean, for one, not drinking alcohol, not taking drugs, not smoking, that's going to boost your immune system. But, you know, it goes further than that. I'm having my vitamins and minerals every day. You know, every evening before we go to bed, me and my girlfriend have a smoothie which contains pomegranate juice, kiwi fruits and blueberries. And all of those have got really, you know, high antioxidant properties, you know. I'm having a healthy diet every day, you know, so, you know, I'm constantly building up my immune system so that whenever viruses do come into my body's easily able to deal with them. You know, the fact that I'm having a cold shower every day, you know, I'm putting my body through stress, that is going to strengthen my body. It's going to, you know, make me stronger for when I pick up these viruses. But also mentally, you know, because I'm building myself up mentally, you know, whether it be from meditation, whether it be just, you know, from exercise, you know, which is good for your body and your mind, whether it be just focusing on trying to be a better human every day, whether it be just analysing what's going on in my mind, yeah? All these things are going to make me mentally more resilient, so that when I'm physically ill, my mind isn't going to make it worse, because that's what your mind does. When you're going through something that's hard, or, you know, something that's a bit difficult, or when you're ill, you know, your mind just makes it worse. You know, how many people out there do you know that when they're ill, they literally just tell everyone that they see, oh, I'm ill, yeah, I'm ill, oh, it's so bad, oh, it's so bad. Like, don't you think that that's going to make it worse? You know, make that virus like hang around longer, you know, because instead of your mind and your body being focused on, no, I'm not going to let this beat me, you know, I'm going to get through this, I'm not going to let it stop me doing what I want to do. You're basically saying to other people and also saying to yourself, oh, this is so bad, oh, it's so bad, oh, it's really bad. Like, so it's going to make it worse. You know, your mind and your body are linked so much, you know. So if you've got a positive attitude most of the time in your life, I believe that you're less likely to get ill. But it's also a fact that if you've got a positive mind, when you are ill, it's not going to affect you as much. So it's all about, you know, building yourself up mentally and physically, so that you're at a point where whenever you get ill, or whenever you go through hardship, whenever you've got family issues, financial issues, anything, you know, your body and mind as one is more resilient and more able to deal with it. And ultimately, you want to get to a point where there isn't really any such thing as a bad time in your life, right? Because the bad times, or the negative times, you know, whatever way you want to look at it, they're the only times really where you can learn and grow and get stronger. You know, if everything was easy all the time and you never ever went through hardship, you would be less of a strong human than you would be if you face struggles. You know, I've got to the point now where I put myself through suffering every day, with the exercise, with the cold showers, you know, because it turns me into a better human being. And then the byproduct of that is that you're happier. I've come to the conclusion where putting myself through suffering equals happiness, you know, because when you're seeking happiness all the time, that's the part of the brain that tells me, yeah, go and get on the sniff, go and get drunk, you know, which short term will make me happy, but not really, you know, it's just euphoric happiness, it's fake. But in the long term, it's going to make me a lot more unhappy. You know, I am the happiest I've ever been in my whole life right now, because I've now got to 200 and something days, you know, without drinking drugs, you know. All right, there are times, pretty much on a daily basis, where my mind will have a little thought, a little urge to go and see my dealer, pick up some cocaine, which inevitably then means I'm going to have to go and get a load of vodka, you know, and, you know, it does try and tempt me, and it would be great, it would be glorious. I'm not trying to glorify drugs, but it would be glorious. Drugs are glorious, that's why we love them. But in the long term, it's going to take me back to a life that was filled with misery, even if I was able to hide that from other people and myself. So look, in summary, what I'd say is, you know, do build yourself up physically, mentally, every day, so that you turn yourself into a more resilient human being, you know, because it will help you fight against physical illness as well as, you know, mental things like depression. It will make you more hardy and more ready to deal with whatever life's going to throw at you, whether it be physical, mental, or whether it be, you know, social things or whatever, you know, just things that come up in your life. But what I'd also say is, whenever you are going through hard times, whether it be a physical illness, whether it be, you know, when you're being a bit depressed, or whether it be life's hardships that come your way, use those times as opportunities to analyse what's going on in your mind, and analyse it in terms of, you know, what your mind is doing to you. Don't analyse the thing, but analyse how your mind is reacting to the thing. Because, as I say, these more negative times, or these, you know, slightly less than ideal times in our lives, are the times where we can understand how our mind does trip us up. But also, you know, you can sort of, like I did when I was ill recently, you can sort of analyse things and say, do you know what? My body seems to be able to deal with this a bit better than I remember it could in the past when I was living an unhealthy life. You know, and even with depression and stuff, you know, there's been times where I've had crippling depression. You know, I mean, every time I used to take cocaine, I would then have 3, 4, 5 days of depression, you know, what's known as a come down, you know. But nowadays, because I'm living a more healthy life, because I'm actively analysing what's going on in my mind, I find that when I do get depressed, I'm able to overcome it better, because I understand what it is. It's just my mind trying to bring me down. You know, I don't see it as this big demon that can't be cured, you know. So do analyse what's going on in your mind, especially during times of hardship, and recognise when you are being a bit stronger, and do equate that to the fact that you are living a healthier life, physically and mentally. And look, to anyone out there who isn't necessarily trying to live a really healthy life at the moment like I am, you know, each to their own. You know, I know a lot of you guys out there just watch this channel because you want to see me overcoming my demons. You know, that's fine. I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to share my experiences. But, you know, even if you make a couple of small changes in your life, it will make a huge difference. Are you getting a bit depressed, you know, in life lately? You know, are you finding that you're getting ill quite regularly? You know, and if you are, then look at other things in your life. Are you drinking a bit too much? Are you smoking cigarettes every day? Are you eating junk food every day? Because believe me, if you are doing those unhealthy things, whether you like it or not, it will be affecting your mental health. And that alone is a reason to live a more healthy life. You know, I have to live a healthy life because I'm either living a super healthy life where, you know, I'm doing these things on a daily basis, going through my daily routine, healthy eating, exercise, putting myself through suffering and doing meditation and stuff like that for my head. I'm either living a life like that, or I'm in the gutter, doing cocaine, getting drunk all the time, hiding my problems, you know. But not everyone's like that, you know. Congratulations to you if you don't have to live on one of those extremes. But, you know, even if you are somewhere in the middle, even if you bring yourself slightly towards that healthy life, you're not really going to be sacrificing anything. And, you know, when you are faced with physical or mental sickness in your life, you're going to be able to deal with it a whole lot better. And if you do live a really easy life, maybe you're really financially secure, maybe you've got everything worked out in your life, and that's awesome. Now, I would guess that if you are at that point, it's taken a lot of hard work, and most people who are at that point, their lives require a lot of hard work to sustain it. But if for some reason everything is just absolutely fine and you feel like you don't need to struggle at all, especially if you're a man, add a little bit of struggle to your life, a little bit of purposeful struggle, because I believe that every man needs that struggle, you know. It's what's missing from modern life now. We don't have to hunt our food, we don't have to fight saber-toothed tigers, you know, everything is quite easy. So maybe you'll find that if you do live an easy life, that a little bit of struggle will do you good. Well, that's certainly what I've found anyway. So that's it for this video. I'm actually on my way round to my garage at the moment to work on this thing, because tomorrow me and my girlfriend are taking this car to Northern Ireland for a really cool adventure, and you'll be able to follow all what goes on over there on my other channel. But yeah, other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.